in Templeton, India. Thank you so much, Avinash, for taking out the time to talk to us, and congratulations on achieving about 30 years of milestone with your two flagship funds. Could you help us understand how that has performed over the past, 3 decades?
Firstly, thank you very much, and happy to kind of be here. The 30-year journey, as you can imagine, is never easy, and it's never a linear path. There's always ups and downs, and you could say the same thing for the fund performance. What I would say is that when you look at the actual result at the end of 30 years, a 19% plus compounded annual growth rate, it is actually something to be very proud of, because that's how you create true wealth. So I think with the ups and downs, if you have a long enough time horizon, you do create very good returns.
Talking about the returns, especially from the mutual fund industry, we've seen SIP flows being at record, and also AUM of, the industry crossing more than 50 lakh crore, 53 lakh crore actually, if I'm not wrong. What about because you were earlier talking about AMFI's vision also to kind of make it reach a particular target. So how do you see that happening? Because the penetration level obviously is still low.
So I think the penetration is low, but I would say, when you look at the target, which is, I think roughly it's a doubling of where the asset base is today. And if you just assume what the market is likely to do, given our growth rates in the GDP, and you tag on a little bit of inflation, so if you've got 6-7% GDP growth, you've got 3-4-5% inflation, theoretically the market should be 10+% anyway. You just do that. That math itself allows you to get to a doubling of the assets. So we don't necessarily need the penetration, right? The reason I bring up penetration is because we as a nation need that penetration, because the wealth that is created in the metros and the approach and the knowledge in the metros, that has to move to the smaller cities. That ability to save for the future, that ability to save for retirement, that has to move to the cities, and we have to be part of that process. And so I think the penetration is important, not just in terms of making sure that the market grows, but in terms of actually solving a problem for the population. I think retirement is a real problem that we do have to address.
So how do you see the industry kind of helping, it to kind of reach that level of penetration as well as for the industry? And also, we've seen mostly in the equity side of it, which has made the AUM reach that target possible. So what about the other products and instruments that also obviously the mutual fund industry offer?
Right. So I would say, I think as an industry, I think I will have to say that we've done a pretty good job, right? I think AMFI's Mutual Fund Sahi campaign is probably one of the most successful campaigns run, right? And that has brought that awareness of mutual funds to pretty much every part of the country. How do we take that forward, right? I think you have to have more education, right? Unless and until people understand what problem is being solved and what the instrument is to solve it, you're never going to be able to sell. Right? And so I think we have to stop looking at mutual funds as a solution for a retirement problem, for a child's education. So those goals, and I think education is the only way you can do that.
Talking about Franklin Templeton only, how do you see the India business doing from here, especially because the opportunity is obviously there, and also the kind of asset management industry, the kind of growth that they are seeing, given the household savings are now turning into investments. How does the future for the company look like? Anything specific that you're looking to kind of target at now?
So, I've been in Big India Bull for a long time. And I think it's really gratifying to start seeing that India story is really being appreciated in a big way, a lot from the global side as well. So, and given what we just talked about in terms of penetration, I think the opportunity set in India is amazing, right? So should we be benefiting from that? Absolutely. Am I looking to participate in that expansion of the pie? Absolutely. I would say we're looking to get more than our fair share. And that's what my expectation is. So if we're looking at trying to double the market, I should hope that we're doing more than doubling of our assets. And that's what we're targeting, essentially.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.